Hello, this is your boy CA here, and he's about to do a response video to this guy, Alex Botten, otherwise known as Fancy Mustachio Man. But, anyways, let's get on to the response, because I really want to answer this question that he has to offer.
I want to ask a question. Again, it's another question aimed at my Christian viewers, for whom there are maybe some, I don't know.
Alright, lay us the question, Alex.
But this one, then, is about prayer. So, Christians are very big on intercessionary prayer. I can't even say the word today, or any day, for that matter.
Don't worry, just keep working on it, and you'll be able to say sessionary prayer 3 times fast and win all the bets you can make on the word.
They're very big on this, the idea that you can pray to your God and get him to do things.
Okay, where in the Bible does it say that when you pray that you could get God to do things? I mean, I can't find that verse, but then again, I think you're about to bring something up soon, so I'm just going to shut up and let you talk.
In fact, the Bible says this in Isaiah 45 verse 7, which I shall read from the King James Version, just to make sure I'm doing something that you all approve of.
Oh, something we all approve of. Well, maybe I don't know. You maybe have some people that prefer the NIV and want you to do that instead. How about this? Don't just go to the authority of the King James onlyists and say, I'll read it from that just because I don't want to be under the peer pressure of these. If that's the case, you might as well just go to being a creationist, because you don't want to offend much of the people trying to get a point across on the topic of evolution. Okay, you know what? Just go ahead.
Sam says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Some people...
Wow, nice little voice you got there to do for the Lord. Sounds majestic. But seriously, alright, so we've got the verse here, which it says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Now, this is coming from the prophet Isaiah, which is the guy that wrote the prophecies that Jesus would later fulfill. That's pretty much where we go to when we look for the Jesus prophecies. But it's saying that he forms the light and creates darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things, because it's a balance. Why is there evil? Because of him. Why is there peace? Because of him. Why is there light? Because of him. Why is there darkness? Because of him. The idea is that there's a yin and a yang, and the reason why this kind of balance can even be possible is for the fact that God exists and that he's responsible for the creation that would eventually start leading up to this stuff. But that's, we'll get to free will and another thing if you want to discuss that, but go ahead.
So, say there's a huge hurricane, a bit like what's coming out of my speaker, or out of the fan at the back of my computer. Say there's a huge hurricane happens, and your house is destroyed, or you think your house is going to be destroyed. Do you pray to your God to try and save your house? Why? Why would you do that? Aren't you simply praying for your God to not do what he's already decided he's going to do? Are you saying your God's made a mistake?
Okay, this is a straw man right here with the argument. Well, it's a half straw man, because there are some people, and I used to be one of them, that prayed to God for if there was a tornado, do not send it this way. But there's other people that just pray that things will be alright afterwards, because some people know the inevitable would have happened, and therefore would try to say, hey, can you at least show me the way to happiness after this? Can you show me why this will happen, if there's a purpose or reason for it in my life? So you also have to go through the other aspects if you want a more accurate answer to this question, and plus consider the fact that that's maybe what some other people do. They ask this question that I proposed instead of the one you did, which is the other 50.
Or when you survive an accident, when you survive a car crash, you ring up God, you ring up on your prayer phone, and you say to him, "Hi God, I'd just like to thank you for saving me."
Oh yeah, because I got one of those. Hold on a second, let me use it real quick. Yes. God, yeah, I'm doing good. Just, I'm trying to teach Alex Botten here that, he sorta got a problem with his argument, but either way, I'm being the apologetic, so I'm answering the question that he has of why we pray. So, yeah, things are going good. God bless.
Why are you thanking him?
So we aren't allowed to thank him in that case. I mean, the reason why we would thank him is because we're so happy and excited. I mean, we as humans, we just thank people for even the dumbest things, even if, it was part of a plan. But it's because we're so happy that we can't express enough of our gratitude to this individual or whoever that has laid down a plan for us. So that's probably one reason why we thank him, even though we survived.
Your time, if you'd been killed, that would have been because that was also his will.
What makes you think him wanting to kill us is part of his will? Do you like he would murder us in that sense? I mean, I don't see anywhere where that would happen. I mean, sure, you had it in the tragic Old Testament times, but in the New Testament, Jesus said, "It is finished." And I don't see that there was any, during the apostles' time, any sort of incidences of accidents and such forth that were labeled as God's work, unless it was like freeing people. So, yeah, let's hear more of this.
Why pray before you go on a journey, or before you do anything for success, or to avoid harm?
Alright, so why didn't you ask that in the first place? Why pray before we go through a journey or before success? Well, it's because whenever we do pray, it's not getting the reward or the satisfaction that's supposed to be the sense of reward from God. The reward we're supposed to receive is something more spiritual. It's not a physical type of reward. For example, let's say I pray to take a test and hopefully get a good grade on it. Am I asking God to just hand me out like a $100 bill thing that says A+ on it? No, I'm asking him to at least enlighten me with enough confidence and wisdom and knowledge as I study and before I go on taking the test. Now, there's some people that do not have it in their hearts and the right reasons, and therefore they might not exactly get what they want. However, if there are some people who are very genuine and honest and true and faithful in how they pray and want it, and in the end they use the prayer as a gift to try to achieve the grade, they will have this sort of confidence or possible spiritual enlightenment that allows them to succeed at the goal or task that they're trying to accomplish.
You're doing that. You're saying, "Oh, dear God, I'm gonna walk home through the park late at night, and it's a park which is famous for people being murdered in, and there's a gang in there tonight who are quite murderous. So I'm praying to you, God, for you to make sure that I don't get murdered." But that's you saying, if you've decided to do that, God, then I'm kind of asking you not to, because I think you've made a mistake.
It's not asking about a mistake. It's simply asking for the confidence to not be killed and hopefully shed some enlightenment. Maybe God can lead a path or way. Maybe he could show you part of the plan that he's laid out so that maybe you could get away. Have you ever thought about this?
In much the same way as Jesus asking for the cup to be removed from him, for the burden to be removed.
No, it's not the same, because Jesus was God and he was being under the task of fulfilling the sacrifice. There is no more plans that are involving, oh, this is part of a prophecy. There is nothing that we are doing that's going to fulfill a prophecy, because the last one's been fulfilled already, and God is going to come about whenever the time comes at the end. And, Revelations is going to happen, So, it's not the same. There's no prophecy that we're fulfilling. There was one that Jesus did. So that's why he asked Peter to not take the cup away from him, because it was already given and needed to be done.
Tell me why you do this, because to my mind it makes literally no sense.
Really? It makes no sense, huh? Okay. Well, let me explain it like this. It's to not just help the person in the other realm try to feel better, by letting them know that they're being thought about. It also lets them feel better. Well, not them in particular, but it's also the individual that prays. They end up feeling the confidence so that they could possibly do what God would tell them to do. There may be what they call the spiritual experiences where God may reveal ways that one can help out. They have the term God works in mysterious ways for a reason. An example would be in some person, his friend died, and turns out that there was a lot of conflicts between both of the families on each end. And the death of this friend ended up bringing them together because the friend was very devout on the topic of forgiveness, and he wanted that to be a bit of the motto to his funeral. So the friends and family start to reconcile the differences because of the one last wish that this person had. Now, this could have been part of God's plan. Who knows? As far as I'm concerned, I don't know, and I don't think any of us have a good way to know what the plan is. All I suggest is to look into it if you're so curious, not just by asking us questions, but in the ways curiosity might not actually kill the cat this time. So just try it out by looking into it, studying it, and then, maybe trying it out with an experience for yourself and see how it feels, and do you think you feel any changes? Because honestly, I've tried it, and it does affect some change into me, Alex. Just food for thought. Anyways, thank you, and I hope this answers your question.